So how much sleep do you really need? Well, the general recommendation from organizations like the National Sleep Foundation and the CDC for most healthy adults between the ages of 18 and 64 is 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night on average. Getting at least 7 hours is considered the minimum necessary for optimal health, function, and safety. Consistently sleeping less than 7 hours is linked to higher risk of health issues like high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. Sleep recommendations by age, okay? While 7 to 9 hours is standard for most adults, the ideal amount changes significantly throughout your life. This is kind of crazy. Borns, 0 to 3 months, 14 to 17 hours of sleep. That's insane. That's awesome. Newborns have it made. Infants, 4 to 12 months is 12 to 16 hours, including naps. All right. I'm sure infants love naps. Still awesome, 12 to 16 hours. Toddlers, 1 to 2 years, 11 to 14 hours, also including naps. Adults should be including naps as well, but it doesn't say it does. Schoolers, 3 to 5 years old, that's 10 to 13 hours, including naps. School age, 6 to 12, 9 to 12 hours of sleep. Teenagers, 13 to 18, 8 to 10 hours of sleep. 18 to 64, 7 to 9 hours. And then older adults, 65 plus years, that's 7 to 8 hours a day, or 7 to 8 hours total. And these are, we've been studying sleep more and more for the past, I would say more in depth for the past 20 to 30, maybe 40, 50 years. And so we're starting to get to know it very, very well. And they're starting to realize sleep is so critical for optimal function from a brain and body standpoint. And so for me, there are occasions when I don't get great sleep. I only sleep around, 5.5 to maybe 6.5 hours. And I can definitely feel it. Like from a brain standpoint, when I wake up, I feel tired, or from a body standpoint, my body just doesn't feel fully rested. When I remember when I was around mid 20s and I'd get 9 hours of sleep, I'd wake up and I'd feel like, $1,000,000. And I feel like anytime I do get around 8 to 9 hours of sleep these days, which is rare, but I try to get around 7. I try to go to bed around 10 o'clock at night, and I try to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning most days. Now, there are days where I go to bed at 10:30, 11, and wake up at 5:30 because I have to go do a workout with teachers and stuff. But and so that's just how life is. But if you can maintain a good regimen of going to bed at a certain time, around maybe 10 or 11 o'clock, and waking up at a certain time, 6 or 7 o'clock, it's very, very good for your circadian rhythm. And overall, that's around 7 to 9 hours. So that doesn't, and the other crazy thing is I wear a sleep monitor. This is my Fitbit. And it tells me when I go to bed sometimes at around like 10:30 and I wake up at 7, that's 8.5 hours of being in the bed. But it says I only get like 7 hours and 15 minutes of sleep because, you go through those sleep cycles where you wake up, go to the bathroom, or, you're not fully asleep, or you wake up because you're thinking about a million things you have to do. So when you're in bed, that doesn't mean you're fully asleep the entire time. So I like my sleep monitor because it definitely I can tell when I get good sleep, and I can compare it to my sleep score. And I know everybody's a little different in that category. So finding the amount of sleep that you need can take time. And some people have various genes in their body that allow them to go on less sleep. And some people have genes in their body that say, hey, maybe you need to sleep a little more. So it's definitely, individual dependent and individual specific, but 7 to 9 hours is a good recommendation from those top organizations. All right. So get your sleep, and it'll help with cognitive function and your ability to perform physically. And that's all I got. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Get after it.